Book Review, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. Title, The Last Thing He Told Me, Author, Laura Dave, Publisher, Simon Schuster, Publication Date, May 4, 2021, Length, 320 pages, Genre, Thriller/Contemporary Fiction. We all have stories we never tell. Before Owen Michaels disappears, he manages to smuggle a note to his beloved wife of 1 year, protect her, despite her confusion and fear. Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers, Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother, tragically, as a child. Bailey, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her new stepmother, as Hannah's increasingly desperate calls to Owen go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal and FBI agents arrive at her Sausalito home unannounced, Hannah quickly realizes her husband isn't who he said he was. And that Bailey just may hold the key to figuring out Owen's true identity, and why he really disappeared. Hannah and Bailey set out to discover the truth, together. But as they start putting together the pieces of Owen's past, they soon realize they are also building a new future. One neither Hannah nor Bailey could have anticipated. In Laura Dave's unputdownable new novel, Hannah is happily married to Owen, and trying her best to get Owen's 16-year-old daughter to accept her, or at the very least, to not actively dislike her. Owen and Hannah met and married and moved in together in his Sausalito floating home, all within the space of 2 years. But suddenly, their life is irreparably disrupted. Owen's tech company's CEO is arrested for fraud and stock manipulation. It's a huge scandal, but making matters worse for Hannah and Bailey is that Owen disappears as the news breaks. He hasn't been arrested, and he hasn't been directly implicated or accused of wrongdoing. Instead, he simply vanishes, leaving Hannah a scrawled note telling her to protect Bailey. Hannah can't believe that Owen is anything but a victim of circumstance, but his cryptic note confuses her. She's even more disturbed when a federal marshal and then the FBI come knocking on her door, all looking for information on Owen's whereabouts. With no way to reach Owen and no idea what he could be hiding, Hannah suggests to Bailey that they take matters into their own hands and go look for him instead, based on some loose memories of Bailey's from her early childhood, as well as hints from some of Owen's stories of his college days. They're soon on his trail, but Hannah is horrified to discover that none of the history Owen shared with her seems to be true. Not his real name, not his family background, not his education, and if all of this is fabricated, then who really is this man she fell in love with and married? Despite her own fears, Hannah realizes that she needs to honor Owen's request to keep Bailey safe, even if Bailey seemed to detest her and even if she doesn't actually know what she's protecting her from. But as they travel together to a new town and track down seemingly random facts and vague clues, they come to realize that they only have one another to rely on, and as they start putting the puzzle pieces together, Hannah becomes more and more certain that she may not like the answers she finds. The Last Thing He Told Me is an intricately plotted web of misdirection and secrets. Through flashbacks, we see Hannah and Owen's courtship and marriage, and learn the stories he shared with Hannah about his past. In the present, we see Hannah being truly there for Bailey, and Bailey's grudging realization that Hannah might be the only person in the world she can fully count on. There are deep, dark, dangerous secrets to be uncovered, and harsh truths for both Hannah and Bailey to confront. Ultimately, Hannah faces a decision that affects all of their lives, and only she has the ability to make sure that she's choosing a path that carries out Owen's wishes for Bailey. I did not see where the story was going, and I was completely hooked on trying to figure out Owen's secrets and why he behaved the way he did. Needless to say, the resolution was not what I expected. Kudos to the author for keeping me guessing all the way through, in addition to the puzzle of the events of the story and the truth behind Owen's disappearance. I really liked the developing trust and connection between Hannah and Bailey. I came to respect and admire Hannah very much. She's put in an impossible situation, with no good options, and finds a way to do the right thing even when it feels like the worst choice in the world. I picked up this book before it was announced that this would be the Hello, Sunshine choice for May. I'm delighted to see it getting so much attention. The Last Thing He Told Me is a gripping, fascinating read that practically demands to be discussed, and I think it would make a great book group selection.